Hey, before the video starts, just want to give a quick shout out to the new Briar spoiler that we got for the Rosetta. I believe it's going to go in the expansion slot. Really exciting. Really is going to push the hero in Living Legend format. Makes me excited to play her. Was just going to play Prism, but I think I'm more on Briar now. Also want to give a shout out to all of you for watching my videos, even though I don't upload very often. I appreciate all the comments I get, all the likes I get, all the discussion that it brings, on YouTube and outside of YouTube. I've even run into one of you on Talishar, and I just love that. I love seeing people, who see my videos. Never would have thought people would actually watch the things I make, so thanks for watching. Really excited for more spoilers for Rosetta, and want to ask, at the beginning of the video, rather than the very end, if you would consider a like and a subscribe and maybe a comment to help push my video a little bit in the algorithm. I would love to get a spoiler for next season, if possible. So yeah, that's all I got. Let's get into a deck tech. Howdy howdy, coming at you today with something a little bit different. Over the weekend, I managed to take down my local skirmish, playing Briar. So got my shiny Blaze Firemind that I will never play. It is going straight up for trade. But before Briar goes off into the sunset in another format, I wanted to pick her up. I wanted to try her out. I played this deck for probably 2 months before the skirmish. I was planning on playing Vincent, and I really wanted to try out Briar. I got a deck list from Mick Lightning, the dog judge in the purple Discord, and it just seemed like a good deck to me. I don't play the hero. I've never played the hero, so who was I to argue? I didn't make any changes. I thought about bringing in the weakest link, and maybe I would have played it more if I brought it in, but I tried it a couple times and it just felt clunky. Felt like too many 2-cost attacks with that on top of CNC. So I'm just going to give a quick deck tech, quick breakdown. Not going crazy in depth, not crazy high production quality, just I really liked how the deck played. I really like the hero. I might play her in Living Legend if I don't play Prism. She's really good. I appreciate a Runeblade who, rather than forcing you to play their game plan, lets you play your game plan and just kind of helps you out along the way. So, real quick, let's clean up my heroes here. And I have my equipment first. I was playing Rosetta Thorn, obviously. This weapon is maybe still underrated, even though it is extremely overrated. It does everything for you. It can be your game plan. I love this weapon. Playing Crown of Providence as my main headpiece. Also playing Balance of Justice on the side for those brute matchups and Zen. Really, Zen was the main concern going into this weekend. I was concerned about Zen and Victor. At least locally. So I did play into a Zen, I did bring in Balance of Justice. I also played into an OG KO, and I brought in Balance of Justice there. For my chest piece, playing Aether Ironweave. Very good for, a few things. It's good for CNC. It's good for getting Earthlore Surge off to get a +5 on an attack. So like if you play Nimblism, Ravenous Rebel, then break Ironweave and get +5 on a snatch, then your Earthlore Surge gives you go again on that snatch from Embodiment of Lightning. So yeah, Aether Ironweave is great for that. Also, paying with Aether Ironweave into Sonata Galaxia or Sonata Arcanix, very good, very strong. And then also just using it for Rosetta Thorn. I did that constantly in my time playing the deck. Maybe that's wrong, but it was good. It worked. Also, chess piece playing Dyadic Carapace. This is just Arcane Barrier 2. It could block an extra 2, but I always valued that burst potential of Aether Ironweave, kind of able to close out games, over an extra 2 block. I did not play this. There was no wizards in my local area. But just in case, always had it in the deck list. Arms playing Grasp of the Arcanite. This and Rosetta Thorn lets you get 5 value out of a blue. Crazy. Just so good. Also in the arm slot, playing Vexing Quillhand, again for Arcane Barrier. You could also pop this in the right matchups to just push extra damage when your opponent isn't going to be able to kill you with instant speed Arcane, Blaze. But again, didn't play that. And then legs, played Snapdragon Scalers. What's there to say about it? This, in combination with Embodiment of Lightning, lets you go really wide on a hand that you don't have any go-again attacks in. It's just very good. And then I've got my tokens. I did get the Cold Foil Embodiment of Earth for Florian, so still looking at playing him, obviously. But yeah, get the equipment out of the way. The equipment suite is very nice to keep it condensed. Everything has a very specific role, and nothing is like, extra. Everything, you want to play in pretty much every matchup. You want to play Snaps, Grasp, Aether Ironweave, Crown of Providence. So anything else has a very specific role. All right, checking out my attacks that I was running. A bunch of 0 for 4s and sometimes 0 for 3s with Go Again. And then a bunch of 0 for 4s that can get Go Again with like embodiments and stuff. So Ravenous Rabble, I did a lot of revealing blues in the lead up to Skirmish. So that kind of made me underrate this card. Even though I know it's good, I was kind of hating on it, and that made me choose smarter play patterns on the day. So I kind of appreciate that. Swarming Gloomveil is the first of my potential Go Again attack actions. You can give this Go Again with Rune Chance, you can give this Go Again with an Embodiment of Lightning, an Embodiment of Earth. If it hits, if this hits and you don't have an Embodiment of Earth, it will make an Embodiment of Earth and give itself Go Again, which is very good. A lot of times you want to wait to play this as like your second non-attack or your second attack on the turn, so that you can see if you can get that Embodiment of Earth and maybe get it up to +4 or +1 up to 4. Lightning Surge, Go Again if played from Arsenal, not much to say about it. Scar for a Scar, Go Again if you've got less life, not much to say about it. Very good in an aggressive deck. Enlightened Strike, really good with Embodiment of Lightning and also Snaps sometimes, because you can give it Go Again, or you can draw a card and then give it Go Again with that to replace itself, make it a 1-card 5. You do a lot of, play 2 non-attacks and then E-Strike, bottoming your card, say draw a card, and then pitch that card to Rosetta Thorn, so no matter what that card you get is, it's worth 4 value. Yeah, just good, just really good. I don't think +2 is my favorite mode on E-Strike, and I don't know if I ever chose it, just because giving it Go Again or drawing cards was always better. Snatch, if it hits draw a card, there's not too much to say about it. This is an absolute staple. Coaxer Commotion is momentum in a card. If you have a Channel Mount Heroic down and you are going off and you play Coax and it hits and you get to draw a card which is worth 3 more value than your opponent's card on average because you've got Channel Mount buffing all of your attacks, and then you make a Quicken. So if you go Coax into Snatch, that Snatch now has Go Again and you're drawing another card, you should not let this card hit if you are an opponent sitting across from a Briar. Exude Confidence, this also very common Snaps target. This was a big chain starter in case it hits and I get to continue to chain for more. Exude Confidence, really big player. I really liked it a lot. It's stopping D-reacts and instants is huge, especially because you can pay that instant in response to the defense step. So if your opponent's blocking with a 5 or a 6, you can respond to that defense step and buff it before D-reacts are even able to be played, and you can still stuff out D-reacts. I would play this on turn 0 when I had too many blues, buff it twice up to 8, get damage to leak through, arsenal my last card, really good. Really like this card. It's a great turn starter so that you can just stop your opponent from playing D-reacts for the whole turn. Or for the whole combat chain. You're breaking the combat chain fairly frequently. And then Command and Conquer. Not too much to say. Really good with Aether Ironweave. Yeah, just good. Kind of annoying to draw on kind of pop-off turns where you really want to be going wide, but getting this at the end of a Channel Mount Heroic turn to swing in for 9 is huge. Love that. Let's check out my non-attack actions before I wrap it up. So, non-attack actions, we've got a lot of staples in here. Channel Mount Heroic, got my 2 cold foils. I mean, there's not too much to say about Channel Mount Heroic that hasn't been said. This is the card that wins you the games. You +3 to all of your attacks on the turn you play it and the next turn. And I have had it stick around, I think, once with 2 counters on it, which is just insane. Because you're drawing on your big Channel Mount turn, if you draw a bunch of cards and you're able to convert those cards into pitching to Grasp and Rosetta and other stuff, it's just really good. Force of Nature, along with Channel Mount Heroic, makes for the most explosive turns in the game, probably. +3 to all of your attacks, on hit, draw a card, is insane. It's insane. It shouldn't be in the game. So these cards together, you know, if you play Channel Mount and Arsenal Force of Nature and draw at least 2 attack actions in your next turn, you just win the game. It's very easy to win the game with those cards. My buffs, I've got Plunder Run, sometimes playing from hand, but you definitely want to play it from Arsenal to get that 3 damage, obviously, but you know, playing it from hand to get your Embodiment of Lightning and an on-hit is still worth it. Bramble Spark is very good, +4 to your next attack, and then the arcane damage that it deals is going to get you an Embodiment of Earth if it deals that damage, which can buff up your Swarming Gloomveil. So yeah, very good. Nimblism, +3. Yeah, not too much to say. So these are my buffs. Sonata Arcanix is an absolute star player. This was in the sideboard and it came in for every matchup, and I don't know where I would bring in anything else over it, because this, kind of like Force of Nature, this and a Channel Mount Heroic win you games. You just get so many attacks in your hand. They're all worth +3. You can probably give them Go Again because you have another attack action or another non-attack action, or you've got snaps, or they already have Go Again. Sonata is super, super good. I found myself paying into it a lot. I was breaking Aether Ironweave to pay into it. I was pitching 2 blues to pay X = 2 into it, and keep 2 floating for a Rosetta Thorn swing or something. Just very, very good. Underrated. Even though it's overrated, it's underrated. I've had times where, you know, I'll pay 2, so I'll reveal 5 cards, flip the top 3 non-attacks, and then 2 attack actions. And it's like, oh sweet, so glad I paid. Now I have 2 extra attacks in my hand, and 2 arcane. Yeah. Not enough can be said about Sonata. Gorganian Tome, Windmill Slam this card onto the table every time. Just, you know, draw a card, so replaces itself, gives you fodder for a Embodiment of Lightning, and then also for a Rosetta swing. Gorganian Tome into Ravenous Rabble, into Rosetta, really good. And then also kind of with these miscellaneous non-attacks, Earthlore Surge, +5, costing 2. Not always getting played. It's a great block 3 when you've got your embodiment down, but if you can pay like Aether Ironweave into it, you know, that's fine, that's good value. If you pitch a blue into this and swing Rosetta Thorn, that's really good. You know, wouldn't complain about this card. I like having one of the reds. Then we'll check out the blues that I've got. Earthlore Surge, just one of the best blues, you know. Turn it into 3 damage, that's really on rate for a card. Tome of Harvest, kinda hate this card, kinda love this card. It saved me, but it has also absolutely killed my turns. If I'm playing Ravenous Rabble Snatch, and I flip this off the Ravenous Rabble, it is horrendous. Horrendous. Awful, awful card at the time. But I wouldn't switch it out for anything. Autumn's Touch, absolute staple. And then Anthem of Spring, maybe my favorite card in the entire deck. Blue Earth non-attack, that gives +1, so I found myself using this card a lot to buff up a second attack. So I would play Force of Nature and fuse it with Anthem to give it the next attack +1. And then I would, after that attack, play Anthem into another attack to give that one +1 and the on-hit from Force of Nature. But also this Unity text making an Embodiment of Earth when you defend with it in another card. If you've already got an embodiment, this is blocking for 3, you make another, it's blocking for 4. I've blocked with 2 2-block non-attack actions, one of them Anthem, and blocked for 8. If you block with, say you've got an embodiment and you block with 2 Anthem of Springs, each of them trigger, each of these goes up to blocking for 5. The card is insane. I don't know what Briars were playing before Anthem of Spring was released, but Anthem of Spring, just absolutely best in slot Earth Blue. Real quick, sideboard, Lightning Press. I played this deck for 2 months, man. I don't know when this comes in. Sonata is always better. Sink Below, I think you bring these in for Bravo. Again, I wouldn't want to play a game without Sonata, especially into Guardian where I need those big turns. But maybe you do. Maybe it's just better to be able to, defend yourself. That's it. That's my my deck tech. So very simple Briar list. Won me that Blaze, so very happy about that. Got me my first living legend points. Like, I don't know, 300 something dollars in winnings total between like cards and star credit on the day. For a $15 entry, that's not so bad. Had a good time. Real quick, I'll just go through my matchups, my pairings. Round 1, I played into Zen, where he did not transcend early enough. He just got a bunch of red kind of brick hands that he was blocking with a lot. I'm not sure if you're supposed to block, even if your hands suck as Zen, but I did take that one. Round 2 versus Dory, I turned 0, put down a Channel Mount Heroic, but my next turn I drew all non-attacks and I was, in the pits. I was like, why does this happen to me? It's Skirmish. It's so bad. But I crowned one of those non-attacks, and I had Arsenal to Plunder Run the turn before. Crowned one of those non-attacks, found a Coaxa Commotion, and 2 of the non-attacks were a blue and a Channel Mount. So I played a second Channel Mount into Coax for, and I think I played a Nimblism also. So Channel Mount, Nimblism. No, I think I blocked with the Nimblism. I blocked the second swing on Dawnblade with a Nimblism. So it was Channel Mount, Coax for 10, which I just, I'm not sure what I'm pretty sure I swung that Coax for 13. I must have blocked with armor. So it must have been armor block, and then swing Coax for 13 with a Nimblism. And then next turn, I kept 1 Channel Mount. Next turn, did Plunder Run into a few attacks, took the tempo of the game, won the game. He didn't have Arcane protection, so I think turn 0, I had played a Bramble Spark and gotten my embodiment, so I'm not sure exactly if I blocked with armor or a Nimblism on that Dawnblade, but pretty sure I swung a Coax for 13 turn 2 of me. But I did win that game. Round 3, I played into an Arachne Solitary Confinement, which I have found to be back and forth. I played 11 games in a row versus Stonewall over on the Purple Discord, and I won 6, and then I lost 5. Like 6 in a row, 5 in a row. So I was 50-50 going into the day, but I did take that game. He did not find any bonds of agony, so I just was able to kind of outpace him. I think Briar, our strong turns, their strong turns, they're gonna set each other off, but, default value, I think Briar does more damage. So, round 4 into Victor, I found my Channel Mount Heroics, I found my Sonata Galaxias, or my Sonata Arcanixes, and, you kind of win those games. Victor also is a matchup that I was pretty iffy on going into the weekend, but I had been down on wins, so I had some wins coming down the line for me, so took that round 4 versus Victor. Into the top 4, still undefeated, I played against an OG KO, who had me down in the dumps because turn 0, he pushed through my Balance of Justice, all the cards in my hand, still did 9 extra damage, taking me down to 11. But then my turn 1, draw back up, I draw a Channel Mount Heroic and an attack action. So I play CMH, pitching a blue, play my attack action, which he blocks with his Suite of Armor, which I think blocking with Scowling there is hasty. But it is something the player has done a lot in the past versus me, so I could kind of expect it. I wasn't surprised to see it. Intimidates a Force of Nature from me, so I just arsenal that Force of Nature like I was going to, and then next turn I play Force of Nature, and I have an attack action, another non-attack action, and then a Sonata Arcanix, and a blue to pitch into Sonata. So just did big damage. Drew a bunch of cards. It was a good turn. Really set him onto the back foot. I don't think he doubled any more attacks versus me, so I was able to just block for 3. In fact, I think on that turn I ended up, I think I was at 11. He swung 3, so he halved an attack and swung for 3 down to 8, and then he swung a claw for 5, I think, and then I blocked with a Nimblism. I blocked with that attack action, or that non-attack action that I drew to not go down to lethal from 2 reckless swings. But I think on that turn 1, the attack action was a Coaxa Commotion, so I hit, I just gained life, so I was sitting at I think 6 HP at the time. And yeah, Force of Nature, Channel Mount Heroic, attack action, blue, Sonata. I drew 2 attack actions off of that Sonata. So, yo, you win those games. You really do just win those games. And then finally in the finals versus another Victor. This Victor I have played a bunch. He is the one who beats me up with Victor. The reason why I thought the matchup was pretty bad. But he does not bring Arcane Barrier. He values the 3 extra HP from the legs, which I think he blocked with the legs at a pretty bad time. A time when I had a Snatch in my hand, so I was able to just follow with Snatch with Go again. So I did enjoy that. That might have been part of what won me the game, but also I was able to just dodge his Disruption. His Spinal Crush I was able to block out with, his Choke Slams, block out comfortably with armor for the first one, and then Spinal Crushes I could block out just fine with non-attack actions that had +1 defense, just chipping in damage. I got a really well-timed CNC that I actually arsenaled. I sat on it for a long time with Go again on the Snatch, thinking if I wanted to break Iron Weave that I had not blocked with to swing CNC just for damage, because I had Channel Mount down. But Channel Mount had just come down that turn, so I just went ahead and arsenaled it, kept the CMH around, used all of my equipment to block a Choke Slam to prevent the Crush effect, and then next turn just swing a CNC for an extra 9. That's good value. So yeah, we win those games. We win those events. So it was a really good weekend, really good day at the local game store. Shout out to all of my locals. You guys are great to play with. I love seeing you guys all the time. Yeah, that's all I got. Hope you have a good one. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.